Welcome back, Saber fans. This is Obi-Wan Sabers. I am Kevin. Got a very interesting challenge brought to me by a customer. This is maybe a Saber Trio Ultra Sabers, first generation. Maybe it's basically a flashlight. We've got a single hilt, a single button, pommel on the screws. We got some very basic components in here. Takes 4 AAA batteries. The button is actually glued in there, and there's nothing but it's just an LED. It's almost like a flashlight bulb. This thing it still is very super bright, but there's no other electronics in this. So we got no sound, no flash on clash, nothing like that. This is what he wants to introduce, and brought this to me to take on this challenge. I said absolutely, I'm up for this challenge. So we are going to go through the process, follow along, and we'll see if we can get this thing going. So all in all, I don't think it's terribly complicated. The core seems to fit in, but what my idea is, take the pommel out. We're gonna completely gut the electronics out of this thing, so I have to figure out how to unglue everything out of that button. And I don't know if I'll be able to reuse it or not, but I'll have to fit everything in. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use just a baselit electronics core that I have here. It's not a Profi or anything like that, so we're still going to get baselit, but it's going to add the functionality of the flash on clash, the different font styles. He's going to be able to change his lighting and everything. So the problem I'm going to be faced with is once the button lines up, we got to put the set screw in the back, and there is no hole here, so I'm going to have to line everything up so that I can fit the set screw through this. So we'll have to drill that hole, tap it out so it's got threads, and then we should be able to just fit this whole thing right in here. But I'm gonna either have to wire this button onto the core because this hole is actually considerably larger, so I'm either gonna have to pull this button out and figure out how to fit that better in there. But I'm thinking that the easier way might be just to fit this particular button onto the, just solder that right onto the board so it makes a connection, and hopefully we get some functionality. So hey there, so you can see we got everything gutted out here. This was all the components that were inside of this thing. The button was being held in. I thought it was a glue, but it's more of a silicone kind of stuff. It's kind of pliable in there, so that took a little bit of work to get out. Basic component, just your simple LED light, battery pack, and the button to turn it on and off. So you see no other electronics in here, so it doesn't make any noise. It's just basically a stunt saber, really. Just had the light, turn it on, you get a light that would emit through a hollow blade, and away you go. So the idea is just to throw in a RGB core into this thing so we can add some sound effects and get some different font styles for the customer. So I got a plan on the go here. I got to order up some parts, so we'll come back in and I'll show you what I got going. Stay tuned. So after some research and some contemplation, this is what I came up with to approach this project, get this upgrade done. I think I mentioned in the first video that the biggest challenge was to get that button to work and make sure everything fits, lines up, and is going to be secure when you start swinging this around. So fortunately, the inside of this was actually just big enough, a little bit of a tight fit, but which is good because we start swinging that around, we want it fairly secure. So the button does line up. Everything else lines up really nice as well. So the challenge is to get that button stuck up enough so that we can engage that. And I thought maybe there's different ways we can rewire it, set it up on the outside, find a way to maybe re-glue it or re-silicone it right in that. Right in the old hole there. But I thought, I think I got a better idea. So this is what I did. I ordered one of these guys, these little adapter here, so it looks like the unit that comes off of the Skywalker saber or the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber hilt, Darth Vader. We'll say that too, and it fits over top and actually works really, really nice. But I did find one thing, and that is this is a spring-loaded button which engages the button on the core, because LGT remodels those a little bit just to reconfigure, because they don't use these like the little LED ones. It's set further inside because you don't see the LED button as it is. But this guy turned out to be a little bit too long to fit in there, so that turned out to be a bit of a challenge, but I did get it figured out. So this guy fits really nice on this outside. Got the set screw right here that bites into the saber hilt a little bit, so it keeps this thing secured in place. I can still see a little bit, if you set it in the right spot, you can still see a little bit of the light on there, so you know your button functions, because they'll flash once, twice, 3 times depending on the function you want to go. So like change a font, change your light color, or whatever. So in order to make the whole thing work, what I had to do, I had to get in touch with a machine shop. There we go. Well, it's a snug fit. We're not going to argue that. So what I had to do, on the back end of here, there's two screws that hold those brass units in place, and I needed set screws, which I have here, that screw inside of there to push the whole button contraption. Contraption, like my technological terms. Anyway, the set screws go into the bottom and they push the button up so that we can depress it from the saber, from this unit. But in order to do that, I had to, you can probably see those there, I had to drill, it's very precise, that's why I took it to a machine shop, get those holes drilled just in the right spot, so that when we insert the core, the set screws go in the hole, set screws go in the hole here, line up with the screw holes here, and they're able to push that, push the button into place so we get function. So the only challenge was, if these were a little bit too long, then I needed something to fit just right. So this guy fits in here, this guy fits over top of here, and then you push that and that pushes that button. But with that thing being too long, it's of course not going to work. So what I did was, where did I put those? Well, there we go. I found a little cylinder that I had to cut it down and smooth it out a little bit so it wasn't a jagged edge, but that guy actually fits into that spot really nice. And I'm able to, I believe I was able to make this thing actually function. So I'm going to get everything inserted here. We're going to come back, give this a test, and see how right I am. Stay tuned. Here we are at the moment of truth. We have everything put together. The blade is inserted. The core sits in there pretty good. It is fairly solid in there too, so it's not moving around at all. So everything's looking good. It is time to give this thing a run and see if it works. Fingers crossed.
Power on.
Whoa. There we go. Look at that. Everything is functional. My button idea worked. We got everything set. I'm hopefully going to have one happy customer on this guy. So that was definitely a fun project. It's nice to give customers a little bit more functionality out of their sabers. I do know that wasn't the only way of doing things. Sometimes it's just a learn as we go process. As the Jedi code goes, there is no ignorance, there is knowledge. So if you have any better ideas, throw some comments below. I'd love to see what other people are doing for different upgrades of this sort. Again, if you like the video, give us a like, subscribe, bring some notification bells. I will keep these videos coming as much as I can. Chat soon.